Now, where are those terror sympathizers who blamed Hamas and October 7th attacks for several months to justify the slaughter and barbaric murder of Palestinians at the hands of Israeli terrorists? Can these immoral and depraved souls explain why the occupied West Bank has been set on fire by Israeli terrorists? As I speak, one 23-year-old Palestinian, Mahmoud Abdul Qadir Sadda, has been brutally killed in the village of Jit, east of Qalqilia, in the occupied West Bank. According to Al Jazeera, which to me is the most authentic source of news on anything Palestinian at the moment, Israeli terrorists threw rocks and Molotov cocktails on Palestinians as they stormed the village. They set Palestinian cars on fire and destroyed their properties. In fact, set their properties on fire when they were still sleeping inside their houses. Well, they also attacked the town of...
No, it was horrific. What is striking and important to remember is that yesterday's killing in Jit is not an isolated attack, and it is the direct consequence of Israel's policy of settlement in the West Bank. We have been reporting for the past years about settlers attacking Palestinian communities in their land in the West Bank with impunity. And this really is the crux of the matter, the impunity that the perpetrators of such grave violations have been enjoying. We have verified that since the 7th of October and until yesterday, 609 Palestinians were killed in the West Bank, including East Jerusalem, and including 146 children. 8 women, and at least 4 people with a disability. Clearly, this needs to stop, and key to this will be accountability for the perpetrators.
This happened even as British Foreign Secretary David Lammy and his French counterpart arrived in Israel to meet war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu and his criminal cabinet colleagues. It was as if Lammy arrived there in Israel to show his support to Israel in carrying out another round of genocide. Only difference is that this time in the occupied West Bank. Just listen to what he had to say and tell me if it doesn't make you angry. He said he condemns the action of Israeli terrorists, and that's it. Mere condemnation will make everything right. Ticking the box exercise done, no further action required. Meanwhile, the UK can continue to send more arms to butcher more unarmed Palestinians. Oh yes, Netanyahu, this Lammy fellow said, has assured him of a swift investigation. A criminal being asked to investigate his own crime. I wonder why Hamas leadership was not tasked with investigating the 7th of October attacks. No, there it was important for the UK, the USA, the EU, Canada and Australia to support a genocide of more than 40,000 people, including 20,000 babies, the destruction of every single hospital, school, college and university in Gaza, and flattening of the whole of Gaza. That was the real purpose. That was the real motive for the so-called civilized West, if you still think that they are civilized.
The scenes overnight of the burning and the torching of buildings, of the Molotov cocktails thrown at cars, of the widespread rampage and chasing of people from their homes is abhorrent, and I condemn it in the strongest of terms. Prime Minister Netanyahu has said that there will be a swift investigation.
One question to this shameless man called Lammy. How about the West arming Palestinians as well, so that they can defend themselves, right? Don't they have any right to defend themselves? No, absolutely not. The justice system of the morally corrupt and barbaric West doesn't believe that non-white Arabs and Muslims have any right to live with dignity. Just imagine the world's highest court, the International Court of Justice, has recently ruled that Israel was illegally occupying Palestinian land in Gaza, in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Did it make any difference? No. Even the biggest genocidal backer of Israel, i.e. the US, has time and again said that Israeli action in the West Bank was illegal. Okay, they never used the word illegal. Instead, they have played down the severity of the Israeli crime by saying this is not consistent with international law. They don't even use the word violation of international law, let alone calling it illegal.
This administration has spoken out against Israeli actions that undermine territorial continuity for a future Palestinian state. Something like this would certainly be that. Every single one of these new settlements would impede Palestinian economic development and freedom of movement and undermine the feasibility of a two-state solution. Simultaneously, Saeed, what we have said a number of times continues to be the case, which is that the Israeli government's settlement program, we find that to be inconsistent with international law.
And if Palestinians decided to resist that fight for their dignity, they would be branded terrorists by the rogue regimes of the UK, the USA, and the entire West. And you thought the US was an honest broker of peace in this conflict? You expect a terrorist nation to broker peace in the Middle East, a region that has been savaged, destroyed by warmonger America over the last several decades. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.